Hello, how are you doing?
I'm great. I would like to thank you for your time to host such a wonderful episode for all
So
the
shall we?
girls around the world.
Yes, thank you very much. So shall we start?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. From a nation of breathtaking rainforests, bustling cities, and rich cultural diversity, we welcome a queen who embodies the true essence of Malaysia. Miss World Malaysia 2025, Taanusiya Chetty. Her story is one of grace, intelligence, and resilience, carrying not only the pride of her crown, but also the weight of a purpose-driven mission. Today, we walk with her through the journey that began at the national stage, the transformation that followed, her vision for the global platform, and the dreams that shape her both as a queen and as a woman. And of course, we'll end with a fun round, a rapid fire questions that celebrate her personality and her Malaysian roots. Tanusia, it's such a great pleasure to have you here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you for your words of encouragement and amazing words that literally made me smile so much right now. I'm literally blushing right now.
Perfect. So, Tanu, the main reason that you're standing here today is because you are Miss World Malaysia.
Yes.
And so let's start from your national pageant, the journey where it all began. So my first question to you would be, what moment first sparked the thought, I want to compete in Miss World Malaysia?
Oh my gosh. Reflecting back on that journey, it was such a nostalgic moment for me
Hmm.
because Miss World has been one of the first ever pageant that I started to watch with my mom back in the days when I was a kid. I used
Hmm.
to be that girl that collecting Barbie dolls, and I had my first ever doll, which is a bread doll, and I used to like take care of the dolls, like brushing and glumming it up. And there was once my mom actually came up to me and she told me that, you know what, since you really love dolls, you should get one of the dolls from India. And I was super curious about that. And she introduced me to Aishwarya Rai, and I was really captivated by her beauty. And she also told me that she was Miss World 1994 as well. And ever since that, I started to watch Miss World when I was like 6 years old back then.
Hmm.
And I did not even imagine that I would actually be in the fit of, stepping in a national pageant for Miss World. And I would say that, everything is it's possible if you kept the missionary in yourself and you make it possible because you had the mindset that was set miles years ago. And this is what I see in Aishwarya Rai as well. And she have contributed to many countries, many people out there, which is super inspiring as well. And I would like to also see myself as someone, as a giver, giving back to the society. And I believe that was the call for me to step into the Miss World stage.
Perfect. So Malaysia, we call it mini Asia because Malaysia is so
Yes.
culturally diverse. So how did that multicultural identity, how did it reflect this during your pageant journey?
I would say I am going to carry myself as a Malaysian.
Hmm.
And if you have known already, Malaysia is a multi-diverse country. We have so many races, cultures, even the food, and you cannot hear anyone who comes to the country of ours
Hmm.
and gain a little bit weight before they go because our food, there are so much of lovely food, like delicious food from the Indian, Chinese, Malay cuisine, as well as all across of the Asian food as well. We have that, and that
Hmm.
is why we focused on our slogan, which is Malaysia truly Asia, because that is what we are. And of course, as me myself, I'm a multilingual. I do speak Tamil, I speak Mandarin, English, and Malay. And carrying myself as a multilingual, which is focusing on our four major languages in Malaysia, is such a grateful opportunity, and I cannot utilize that and connect with all the girls across the world because,
Hmm.
that is one of the way that we can actually engage with them using languages from different countries.
Perfect. So உங்களோட தாய்மொழி வந்து
Yes.
தமிழ் தான்.
Yes, எனக்கு தமிழ் பேச தெரியும்.
Perfect. So, as we all know, pageantry is not an easy road for a lot of people.
Yes, of course.
Most often people only see the glamour of pageantry, but it has a lot of challenges that come with it. So, looking back, what was the toughest obstacle that you faced on your road to the crown?
well, I did not share this to any of my Malaysian fans,
Mm-hmm.
that, 2 weeks before my send off to the national pageant, which was a few hours from the state that I am, KL, to Sabah.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks before that, I actually met an accident, but nothing happened to me. But
Nice.
my car was total damage. Total damage. Right after my class, I was like heading back home and I met an accident. It was because of the weather and slippery road, which made me really down. I was like in the week of collecting all my pageant week outfits. I was really down, but it reminded me of everything happened for a reason. Maybe that was a way for me to like stand more firmer to face any adversities that is going to come ahead for me. And that did not stop me from there. After that, like on my day of send off itself, I
Mm-hmm.
was at the airport. And I was about to check in my baggage, and they told me that it's too late to check in because I was queuing for too long, and I honestly missed my flight, and I was about to cry because it was the day, the moment, the first impression that everyone is going to expect to see you in person, and I was literally like, so sad. But, my parents were there. Thankfully, they did not leave before I left. And they were like, you know what? It's better that something is gone like that, but you still have something ahead from you to just keep move forward. And my dad was so sweet. He had to like get me another flight ticket, which was very costly at the last minute. And he just told me one thing, that think back of what was the purpose that you wanted to compete. If you still have the road ahead from you, if you still have the road or journey ahead from you, you should just move forward. And I was like, okay, maybe that's a way for me to keep me motivated. And after a week of pageant week, I did not expect it, that the crown was on me myself, and it was such a blessing, I would say. And this should be a testament to everyone that is competing. Something that in your journey might stop you,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it's leading you to a better way to receive something bigger that you can even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not really share this to any of my friends, so I have a very supportive team.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment I was like a bit delayed, like 2 hours delayed, they actually texted me. I was like, no, I shouldn't make them too sad or worried. And I told them, nah, I was just here at the airport. I just had to wait someone to pick me up. So after I got like the title and all the next day, then I told them what actually happened. So only them themselves, they know what actually happened. But otherwise, yeah.
In where coming from, there is a saying like if you see a little blood before you're starting something big, it's actually good. So even though the
Yes,
accident was an unfortunate event, it really worked in your favor. So
it's
may
true.
something like that never happen, but it really worked in your favor. So all the very
Hmm.
best. So as you told me right now, your father and your parents were always by your side. So how
Yes.
did your family and your community influence or support your journey to your Miss World Malaysia pageant?
Well, a little bit of sharing session of my parents. They are super supportive. They know what I like, and they know that if I want something, I would definitely go miles to achieve that. But of course, everything, every journey, every obstacles or things that you want, you will go through a lot of phase of life.
Hmm.
And to share realistically about myself, when I was 14 years old, like I just shared, that I ever started Miss World, watching Miss World pageant was due to my mom. And that was this one year of mine, which was very challenging for me to stand firm and to go through all the things that I received, was losing my mom at the age of 14. I did not actually lose her just like that, but my parents were heading to a funeral, which was in another state, and on the way to Johor, so they had to like go to Singapore, and it was due to my cousin sister, which was stepped by her to be fiance in Australia. And for Hinduism, we do have after 2 weeks prayers. And when my parents were on the way there, I actually received the last text from my mom at 5 something, that she said, just said that she has already arrived Johor Bahru, which was the nearest state of Malaysia closest to Singapore. And after that, I did not hear any words from her because I was already in a school. And when my aunt actually came to the school, she told me that, Tanu, we need to bring you back home. And I started to tear so bad. I was literally like shivering already. And when we were on the way back home, she asked me, why were you crying so bad when we just told you that your mom just had a minor injury? And I just said that, 2 weeks ago or just a week ago, I had this instinct in me, which wasn't a good feeling. I actually dreamt my mom and was buried in a wedding sari in a coffin, which is the thing that we Hinduism practice as well. And when I got back home, we started to pack all my outfits. My aunt actually asked me the last thing was, where's your mom's sari? So I had to really, really keep that painful thought to myself and still have a little bit of hope to still look forward. And it was such a like bad year. I would say that that's the year that I did not want to even look at it. And I even speak to myself. I isolate myself. I even had to stop school for a month plus because I had to prioritize my younger brother. I have two brothers. I had to take care of my family. My dad is all around working on his own. And every single time I just talk to myself because there's no woman at home to talk. And I was so, so blessed enough to ask the God that why can I make a change? Why am I stuck in such a situation that I can't even move forward? And the God actually sent me a woman, a stepmother, um, all the way from another state. She comes every weekend just to take care of me because she don't have a daughter. And that's how I started to see the change in my life. And I started to evolve, and she's super duper supportive. And if I'm ever doing whatever I am today, it's all because of her. And you wouldn't believe that the year that I was crowned was 2024,
Mhm.
which was a 10 years gap of the resilience that shaped me into the person that I am. And even the same dreams that I had for my actual mom, I shared the same dreams that I have to my stepmom, and she pursued it, she guided me, which was really such blessings for me because this is what people need to see as well. That everything that you aim in life, you would have many years to achieve, maybe weeks or life, anything, any source of thing that would set you to an obstacle. But to achieve that is your mindset to be mentally, physically, emotionally strong. And that is so, so much important for the people out there, even youngsters, women or men, that this should be a testament, a realistic testament to whatever you want to achieve, that always have hope. And maybe you can make a change in your life, but there is always someone that could bring a change in your life, and they should keep that in their mind as well.
That's perfect. God really works in mysterious way, and in a way, you can be grateful that you have two mothers praying for you, and you have two
Yes.
mothers who are standing on top of your head, protecting you as your guardian angel. So in a way, you're lucky, and that was hard. So the next question is from one of our fans, and this question is for you. Like, if you could capture the essence of your crowning moment in a single image, what would it look like?
If I could capture one essence of my crown in a single image, of course, there's so many that I would have in my mind, but one
Mhm.
thing is that to change the perspective of what people have in their mindset,
Mhm.
because that's the only thing that can make them to achieve whatever desired goal that they want. Of course, if you have a genie in a bottle, you can get whatever you wish, but
Mhm.
that's only one essence that comes from within of yourself, your soul, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you bring people to look forward to yourself is something that is cannot be bought. And that is something that I would say the one only essence that would have an image on myself.
Perfect. So now that you have already won Miss World Malaysia, now I want to ask you some questions of your life after the pageant. So, how has wearing the crown changed the way you see yourself?
Well, I honestly wouldn't say it changed the way that how I see myself
Mm-hmm.
because every single day I always think that as that's an invisible crown on my head, because that's what made me to reach the 10 years of journey of everything that I had to go through to achieve that. And
Mhm.
of course, you cannot ever forget your roots. You always have to be humble enough to remember where you came from.
Mhm.
And the way that I see myself up to date, I wouldn't say that's any change, but in the inner wise, I would say there's no change, but otherwise, the way that I change people's life is what something that I really want to see. So I hope this should
Cool.
be a realistic thing that people should understand as well.
Perfect. So, since you have won your national pageant, I'm sure you have been
Mhm.
through a lot of public appearances and all.
Yes.
So, what has been the most memorable experience since you win?
Oh, I would say that that's one moment where it was on my brother's 21st birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I didn't get to see myself how I was on the stage. So, I invited my entire team that was supportive during my pageant journey, and they're all pageant admins as well of Malaysia.
Okay.
So we watched back our the show of Miss World Malaysia, and as I look at Tanu, she's walking like that, and the way that she answers, because when I was on stage, all I could hear was their voice, the way that they were screaming far beyond the stage. And to watch that moment with them was such a precious, and I think that is so, so, so precious for me that I cannot even forget.
Okay. So, as you have just said, Malaysia has a very diverse and passionate population, and
Yes.
especially when it comes to pageantry. So, how have you felt the support of your country since winning the pageant?
Well, the way that they support is so so important in my journey as well.
Hmm.
And you wouldn't believe, like, even if I post any selfies or random pictures on Instagram,
Hmm.
within 10 minutes they would have edited some kind of posters for me, which is like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
that is
that's
so
so
nice
true.
of them. That is so nice of them. And even to take their time to sit down and to edit something for the not
Mhm.
only for myself, for every other girls that is competing. I've seen that in my own eyes, because as I say that I have a very strong team from pageant admins as well, and I've seen them, like, whenever we have a gathering, I would see him editing posters of the queens that is competing, and it's such a blessing moment, and I truly appreciate, like, for yourself as well, you took your time, you took your entire day to initiate such an episode for all the girls, which is a way to connect and to acknowledge what we're doing.
Thank you very much for acknowledging me, but thank you very much. So, since you have stepped up to this certain spotlight, now you are under media attention every time wherever you go. So, what has been the most humbling experience or humbling lesson you have learned since stepping into the spotlight?
Well, when you're being in a spotlight, you have to go all around with glitz and
Mhm.
glam. And when you're off screen, of course, you're not the person that you were in a public setting. But
Yeah.
one of the most humble experience, or the way that I perceive myself, I would say the way that you see people around you off screen or on screen or wherever you go,
Mhm.
because that's the personality that you cannot fake.
Yeah.
And of course, you cannot fake in front of anyone.
Mhm.
And when you stay genuinely to yourself, and when you stay sincere to yourself, I believe that's where you attract the butterflies to the garden of flowers.
Perfect. So, if you could go back to the day after your crowning, what advice would you whisper to yourself?
Okay, that's such an interesting question. Well, if I would whisper something to myself, I would say that Taanusiya
Mhm.
Chetty, Miss World Malaysia 2024/25. You
Mhm.
have gone through so much of pain and resilience, but those pain and resilience shape into the woman that you are today. And that's the exact question that I would revert back to myself 10 years ago on how I see the younger version of myself. And if I want to see the elderly version of myself 10 years later, I would just want to see the person that I am up to date, the
Perfect.
same humble, bubbly me.
So, in the next segment of our interview, I would like to know about your expectations for your international pageant. So, the first question is, Malaysia has actually never won the Miss World crown yet, but
Yes.
Tina Leo came very close to second runner-up in 1998, and Rahima made history in the she became top 10 back in 1994 with Aishwarya Rai, of course. So, how do these milestones inspire you so you can carry Malaysia's sash onto the Miss World stage?
Well, this is something that I really want to achieve, that I would say, beyond what I'm doing entire my journey. Of course, everything that you put into work, you need to go fulfill the things that you want to do. And two of them have made Malaysia really, really proud on the international stage. And our highest placement was second runner up. And to always think back of that moment, of course, my Malaysian fans and the people around me, they would want to see me go miles beyond on that. And I would take that as an inspiration, a motive, key of motive for me to, always step forward and to learn from them of how I can actually carry myself during the pageant week. Because you never know, as I said, what was on my head was 10 years ago of growth, and
Mhm.
whatever that is going to come ahead from you is unexpected. So I would take them as a key of motivation to carry my Malaysian spirits towards the crown.
Perfect. So the next question is, when you visualize yourself on the Miss World stage, what do you feel in your heart?
Oh, if I had to visualize myself on the Miss World stage,
Hmm.
I would really, really reflect back to the very first moment that I started to watch Miss World with my mom, because I never knew that the little girl of me who was just 6 years old, was watching that with her mom, is now on the stage with her very first supportive parents, which is going to watch her on the stage lively. I would say that is going to be a moment that I'm really looking forward to.
Perfect. So, as we all know, Malaysia is diverse. So, what part of Malaysia's story are you most eager to share with the world?
Well, of course, I've already shared about the food earlier.
Hmm.
That we have so much of different types of foods here, which is so unique of us. But aside from that, I would love to share about the language barriers that we Malaysian carry,
Hmm.
because we have like this habit of, like, we call it bahasa rojak, which we
Okay.
just mix all the language that we have in Malaysia, which is
Okay.
very unique. Like,
Hmm.
if you speak Mandarin, Chinese, English, you just mix and match those words and use it to
Oh,
your
okay.
friends and family. It's precious. It's very sweet, that I would say, because when you want to order food, like for instance, if you want to order food in a local stall, we would just say that, Anna, can we have this Milo, which is like a few different words of
I
phrase
only
there.
understood the first one. And
Yes, so that is quite confusing as well. I know we
yeah.
get that a lot. Like, I do have friends from the international as well, when in
Mhm.
my studies, like my
Mhm.
campus, they say, "How are you Malaysian, but you do speak a different language?" I say
Languages.
that's makes Malaysia truly Asia.
Truly. Perfect. So true. That's so true. So, so when you are going to Miss World pageant, what do you think is your greatest strength as a delegate representing Malaysia?
Well, I would say the greatest strength as a delegate of representing Malaysia is, carrying myself as someone that is very uniquely diverse in herself, because that's Miss World all about. Miss World, we share the purpose of beauty, what we want to see across every nation, and of course, we do have continent queens for a purpose as well.
Yes.
And to carry myself in that, I would really, really be so great and glad to visualize myself in those type of shoes, because it's something that only happened once in a lifetime, and I cannot wait to
Wait.
experience that.
Even we can't wait to see you shine on the Miss World. So, aside from winning, what experience at the Miss World pageant do you look forward to the most?
Well, there are so many segments in Miss World
Mm-hmm.
that I am actually looking forward to. It's the experience that I'm going to gain with the girls across the world because, as I say, it's going to be like a few weeks type of experience, and you just gotta have fun to experience the cultures, the cultures and languages from them. And now that we have so much of technologies that we utilize TikTok, I'm actually looking forward to learn dances of them and to implement some of our cultures as well in one video to show how we unite. Because if you have noticed, I've also mentioned this like couple of times. Like wherever I go, I always carry the motto of a country, which is Bersekutu Bertambah Mutu, which means unity is strength. And I believe that when we were in the international, unity is what could give us a strength to get together.
Perfect. So, if you could describe Malaysia to your fellow contestant in just
Mhm.
one sentence, what would you say? Malaysia in a single sentence, what would it be?
In a single sentence. Well, if you really love Taanusiya Chetty, you
Mm-hmm.
should definitely visit
Malaysia.
Malaysia because we have various of cultures, background knowledge, and foods. And if you really love the way that I present myself and the way that I carry myself, you
Mm-hmm.
should definitely come to Malaysia because we have tons of people who would do the same for you.
Perfect. So, as we all know, the heart and soul of the Miss World pageant is definitely
Yeah.
the Beauty with the Purpose project, and it
Yes,
is
of
so
course.
relevant to the pageant. And unlike other pageant systems, we really give great importance to Beauty with the Purpose.
Yes,
So,
of course.
what personal experience inspired you for your Beauty with the Purpose project?
Well, I believe that one of the questions that I answered really reflects back to this.
Hmm.
So my Beauty with the Purpose project is it has been started since 2022 when I ever first kickstarted my journey in degree in TESOL,
Okay.
and it's called Be the Change MY. It's also on my bio.
Okay.
And if you notice the name, it's called Be the Change, which was inspired by the change that my stepmom has met into my life.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I started that page in a very early age is because I also advocate for myself as a teacher to all the children out there to empower them to go beyond whatever they see in academics, and also to lead them, to educate them, that is focusing on three core pillars, which is listen, educate, and outreach. And I want them to see myself as a teacher who could listen and educate them, and also to outreach them that covers every single thing from mentally, physically, emotionally strong, so that they could see me there, not only coming to the class to just teach the books and just go away. And my advocacy also relates back to what Miss World is also doing to give back to the community. And my current project, which is called Project Cahaya, is a ongoing project that we do for the Orang Asli kids. Orang Asli is the indigenous kids that we have in Malaysia,
Mm-hmm.
that that's a hospital where every single stage of the children is coming over to treat themselves, and there is no school for them or a learning environment for them to get access to digital tools or a playground or any sorts of things that strive them when they're having their treatments for months. So this upcoming project of mine is to bring up a space for these kids, that even in the hospitals when they are going through treatments, they should have a space for them to learn and grow and thrive, because that's what we have to do. And when I was a very kid, my dad has taught me this four key pillars of life, which is Mata, Pita, Guru, and Devam.
Yes.
And
Same to
that's
you.
that's something that I put into my Beauty with a Purpose as well. So a teacher, your parents, and the God is your key to achieve whatever desired goal that you want to do.
Perfect. So, how do you want your project to touch lives beyond Malaysia's border?
Well, I would want to touch life beyond Malaysia is to see myself as a realistic person that
Mm-hmm.
have gone through so much of pain, resilience, adversities to become the person that I am today. And I am 101% sure that there are many, many girls or boys out there who have the same vision on being on stage on the international. They want to be what they want to be as well. But the real question is, how are they going to be? And I would really, really want to be the reason why they can go further miles to achieve what they want. And to see me as someone not only holds the crown on her head, but
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that they walk in purpose with an invisible crown until they get their desired goal.
Perfect. So, 10 years from now, what do you want people to say about the impact of your project?
Well, for 10 years from now, I would see myself as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I would touch millions of children for years. That is going to be in my class as an English teacher. And that one
Let me say
impact
one
that.
second. I was asking about the impact of your project. Like 10 years from now,
Ah,
what do you want people to say about the
oh,
impact of
okay.
your project? Yeah.
Okay. So for the impact of my project that I want to see people from now is that something that is um, has a few statistics of how many children that I can impact, because in Malaysia we do have various of children. We have, like I mentioned earlier before, we have the Orang Asli kids, we have the kids from refugees, we
Mm,
have kids from different backgrounds across the states. You can see so many kids with different cultures as well. But how I want to see this to be impactful in the next 10 years is to make them to be very independent on what they want to do and not to have hope on what they see around themselves. Because at the end of the day, it's you yourself tying your shoe every single morning that you get up from school. So you need to know that the path they are working, of course,
mm,
you will have people that uplift you, but to
mhm,
reach where you want to be is
mm.
only depend on your mindset. And I really want to see this to be impacted from the words that I convince people to trust in the voice of mine, and of course the Beauty with a Purpose project that I work with.
Perfect. So, bringing a project of this magnitude to life, it's not easy,
Yes.
especially since you're working with a lot of children in a lot of
Yes,
ethnicities and all. It's not going to be easy. So, while bringing your vision to life, what has been your biggest challenge, and how did you overcome it?
well, people would say that when you initiate your own advocacy or any project that you do, of course,
Hmm.
you need to have funds.
Yes.
And funds is something that is, that is something that could be achieved if you have the budget to reach that thing that you want to do.
Mhm.
But, at the same time, there, as I've mentioned earlier before, the energy that you give and the way that you always be there for people is something that is cannot be bought by in cash or anything like that. And if you always be there to be a good listener, a handful of reaching hands whenever that they need,
Mhm.
I am sure that that would be one of the way that these kids would actually have the growth and to strive for themselves to be someone better than they were yesterday, because God has given us, when you wake up you have sun when you
Yeah.
grow, and the moment when you sleep it's always in a darkness, which when you look out of the door there's only a moon that and stars to give you the shine. So of course, as for myself as well, when I sleep, everyone have gone through so much of challenges in life, but God has to realistically give you a way to rise back up stronger is just by seeing the sun outside.
Mhm.
And that is the brightness that you should see from your own self, because it's nature. Nature is that to guide you. And this is something that is very general to be acknowledged by every individual as well.
Perfect. So next is a hypothetical question. It's from one of our fans. If your project
Okay.
could be, if your project could be symbolized by a Malaysian flower, which would it
Okay.
be and why? Creative,
Well,
right?
I would say the Rafflesia, because
Mm-hmm.
Rafflesia is one of the rarest flower that you could see across the world, and we have that as well in our country. But
Mm-hmm.
it's poisonous and dangerous if you go towards it. So if I would describe about that flower is that, when you see something is scary in front of you, you might think twice before you go towards it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just stay from distance and watch the way that it actually achieve
Mm-hmm.
or to grow, you can actually learn a lot of meanings behind it, and that is something that you should keep from yourself as well, because in life we have many people that might criticize you or do things that will drain you down, your energy down. But keep yourself away from that is going to keep yourself the person that you are today. And Refugia is such an example of how people can actually learn from that as well.
Perfect. So far we have talked about your national pageant, your beauty with the purpose, your
Yes.
expectations for your international pageant. In the next segment, I would like to know a bit more about you as a person, as a queen. Sorry,
Nice.
not as a queen, but as a person. Who is
And in
Taanusiya?
the word. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So, beyond pageantry, what dream excites you the most for the future?
Well, beyond pageant dreams, what excites me for the future is that I want to see myself as a leader who could lead the upcoming generation as well. And if I had the privilege, I would love to open my own academic to give hope and also to encourage all the kids across the world or wherever they are coming from since young, and to teach them and to also guide them across to make sure that whatever person that they want to be or occupation that they have
Mhm.
is achievable. Because as for me, like it's very general for teachers. Whenever they have class in a classroom, we got to do a lesson plan, and when you do a lesson plan, you need to make sure that you reach the learning outcome. So if I have that academic, I gotta make sure that I achieve the learning outcome of what I studied in the next 10 years.
Perfect. So, the next question is, if you had the opportunity to create a nationwide program for Malaysia's youth, what would it focus on?
If I would create a national program for the Malaysian youth, well, just recently, 2 months ago, I have officially registered my advocacy project, which is the initiate that I do under ROS. So I
Mhm.
have my own NGO now,
Oh,
and I would utilize this to lead the upcoming youths as well.
mhm.
And of course, you gotta make them to unite as a whole, to put them in the shoes that I'm walking to as well, so that in the next coming of years, they can also empower or uplift the surrounding that they have already gone through. Because in life these days, there are so many children that are facing a lot of issues which cannot be changed by themselves. Like, for instance, they are going through mental health, emotionally drained, getting abused. So I want to initiate a platform where the youths could unite, and also to make sure that the things that they do are very firm enough to have a firmer mindset for whoever that they outreach, and also to change the way that society have put into the social media. Because keyboard warrior is one of the main issues of how many children has undergrown, and also to isolate themselves. And if back in the days, if I had social media in 2014, I think I would have already seen me, the person that I wouldn't want to see. But if I have a strong person around me and keep aside, and also to be very, very firm enough to step forward, I would say that the initiate that I want to utilize in my platform would be very sustainable, and it's achievable as well.
Perfect. So, what inner value do you hold most, and how does it guide your decisions?
Well, the inner value that I would hold the most is to accept whatever it is. Because um, you know if I could ask myself what I want to change in myself if I did not achieve something that I want today, or if I did not meet someone's expectation, or if I made them upset, of course there's always another hope of becoming a better person that you were yesterday. So God has given you tomorrow for a purpose and a reason.
Mm.
And if I want to polish myself to be a better person, and also to make sure that you know if I did something wrong or if I upset someone, there's always a tomorrow to make them feel better,
Mm-hmm.
because there's no pause there, and there's no any source of thing that is going to keep them isolated or any sort of things like that. And it's something that is from the within, because forgive and forget and respect yourself, and also to always become the person that you were better than yesterday, is something that we all have to practice in our daily basis.
Perfect. So, the next question is, which Malaysian woman, past or present, inspire your mission in life?
Well, there's no any specific Malaysian icon, I would say, but to say that Malaysian women, I would always say this millions of times, that the person that really inspired me, of course, my mom was born in Malaysia. She is the reason why I am the person that I am today. And it's something that the first ever person that you see when you grow, when you're born. And I would always take her as my pillar of strength and pillar of someone that I really want to look up to wherever I go, because she's the only person that were by my side when I was born.
Perfect. So, in future, maybe let's say 100 years from now, when your reign is remembered, what do you hope people will say about Taanusiya Chetty?
Well, if I would left a realistic legacy, something that is very inspiring for people to say good things about me is, well, to stay genuinely to myself, to always be um, down to earth, and also to be someone that is me, myself, and not changing what people would want me to change. Because I feel like authenticity is something that attracts whatever that people see in you. And of course, it's not has to be something really fancy, or you gotta go on trend to make people to look up to you. But I would just leave something as myself, being authentically me, and just a humble teacher, English teacher that is in school. But outside of the school, she's just someone that leads in a glitz and glam.
Perfect. So, let me just look if there are any more fan questions.
Of
Uh,
course.
minute. Okay. How do you handle nerves before stepping on stage?
That is something no one can actually deny,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just our human body that gets that feeling when we were on stage. Especially, I truly admire, like, when you were on stage, you have all your pageant sisters who are going to wear that high heels and their evening gown, and they still gotta stand in a good posture. I would say that that is something that is it's just nostalgic when you think back, when you have so many girls from different backgrounds, but they were all wearing pain in their shoes, which is to stand so high to reach a goal. And when you were on the stage, you just cannot think about something, but the way that you have to, like, cool down your nervous system is just to look around the girls around you, and to also relate back that they're in the same shoes as me. So please put out everything that you have in your mind and just throw it away, and just stand firm in a good posture, because everyone is just like looking at you.
Perfect. The next question is, how do you truly define beauty?
Hmm. Well, I would say beauty is something that can be seen wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
And how would I define beauty is make you to visualize how the way that you see butterfly. I always keep this to myself as well, that wherever I go, you can see people would neglect the way that when they see a caterpillar, but they would try so hard to see or capture a butterfly, or to also expect the butterfly to come to them. But when it's caterpillar, no one would actually see the beauty in it, because maybe they're kids and they see something that is moving forward with many legs. It would look creepy to them.
Yeah,
But when you give time and when you give the caterpillar to grow fully into a beautiful butterfly with different colors of wings, you would see the beauty in it. And that's something that I would keep to myself, bear it in my mind, and I believe that people around me should do the same as well because beauty comes from nature and it's not from the physical appearance that you see from something, but the way that it transforms during the stage of metamorphosis.
perfect. So the next question is what we call the rapid fire round. We don't want you to
Okay.
think. We don't want you to think too much because we have been, talking about very important topics so far.
Yes, of
So the
course.
next segment is like light. I wanted our interview to end in a light note. So don't think too much. Just say whatever that comes to your mind. So the first
Okay.
question. The first question. If you had to convince the entire Miss World stage to try durian, Malaysia's king
Oh,
of fruits, what would your sales pitch be? Sales pitch be in 10 seconds.
well, I can't believe that I'm going to say this myself. Well, I adore durians. I know it looks cute, but me myself I don't eat
Not
durian.
a fan?
But
Okay.
I'm not a fan of durian, but I do have family members in the same house that I live that loves to eat durian. So if I had only 10 seconds to describe it is
Sales pitch.
don't judge.
You
10,
have to
10.
sell that product to me.
I know it's spiky
Mhm.
and it doesn't smell good, but when you eat it, maybe it feels good. That's why many people still eat it.
Okay. Perfect. So, would you rather hike through Taman Negara or stroll through Kuala Lumpur at night?
Could you repeat that again?
Would you rather hike through Taman Negara or
Okay.
stroll through Kuala Lumpur at night?
That is so cute. You know what I actually heard? Would you go through the man that runs? But it's Taman Negara.
Ah, okay.
Taman Negara is something that I would really, really love to be around whenever I'm stressed because it's a garden and you have so many insects and butterflies that I love to also see. And we have also like fish and a lot of beautiful flowers there. And
Mhm.
it's very fairy tale moment whenever you just go there because you just have the whole fantasy with different types of species and all the flora and fauna around you.
Mhm.
So if you're just stressed, you just walk into that and you can just relieve whatever that is in your head.
Okay. If Malaysia had a personality, what three words best describe it?
If Malaysia has a personality, I would say unity
Mhm.
and also strength
Mhm.
and someone that is very outreaching
Okay.
because as I said that we do have foreigners or anyone that comes to our country but maybe they would have difficulties to actually connect with them but
Mhm.
since we speak many languages maybe one of it would actually help them to understand like for instance if you're asking for a map or in a person or ways or a location for you to go when we
Okay.
actually utilize the bahasa rojak that I mentioned just now maybe that could actually
That will
help.
work. Yeah, that should work.
Yes.
At least people can figure out at least from the words what you're asking. Okay.
Yes, of course.
The next question. Which is harder, balancing the crown or balancing spicy sambal on your plate?
I would say balancing a spicy sambal on a plate because balancing a crown you still can walk with anything that you have on yourself but balancing something that is in yourself is you cannot deny the fact that it's going to be really spicy. You might tear out from that.
Okay.
And I do not, my personally, I do not really tolerance a very spicy food. And
Really?
if I,
Oh my God.
I used to eat very spicy food, but then when I was having gastric, I had to like reduce the spiciness. So
Okay.
if I put something spicy, I'm going just gonna reflect back what I had to go through when I had the habit of eating spicy.
Okay. Perfect. If you could crown one Malaysia festival as the most joyful celebration, which one would it be?
Hmm. Well, I would make them to see the colors of our Malaysian flag, because there's so many colors that brings out every meaning to it as well. And since I'm also a teacher who loves to teach children in schools, and we go through colors which can be reflected from themselves, that's why every individual have a favorite color.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to relate back to something that is to my country, it has to be the colors that we see in our Jalur Gambirang, which is our Malaysian flag, that has unity, purity, and a lot of other things that we can to learn and to grow, and to also inspire people to come to our country, because we are so welcoming, and it really really reflects back to the person that we are as a whole.
Perfect. If you had to teach your fellow Miss World contestants one Malaysian word or phrase, what would it be? Maybe you can say one word in Tamil and one word in Chinese. Yeah. Because
Yes,
Malaysian language, I don't know.
yes, we have various of languages, more than 120
Hmm.
languages spoken here.
Yeah.
But if I had to put one word, how would I say this? Well, Hmm. It's very hard for me to convince only one words to put to make people out there to confuse as well. But
Uh-huh.
you know, maybe me being a brown Malaysian girl as well as someone who speaks Mandarin,
Hmm.
I might get them confused by speaking in Mandarin, because I come from Malaysia and our national language is Malay. So
Hmm.
I would say only one word, which is um, let me think, which is I. I means it can be yourself,
Okay.
I myself, I, or but in Mandarin I means love.
Ah, that's beautiful.
And even in Bahasa we say I as well, but in Mandarin I is love.
Okay, perfect. So the next question. Which festival gives you more energy? Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, or Deepavali?
I cannot compare all of those celebrations, because we
Really,
just
you have
have
to pick one.
neighbors. Only pick one.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say Hari Raya,
Ah,
because I
okay.
do have many friends and my neighbors as well, and of course that's our popularity of people that we have in my country. So Hari Raya is something very precious and very happening, because they have so much of foods that you could just eat all day around. And one of my favorite fruit from
What?
the celebration is rendang, which is like a coconut spicy chicken with pulut. We call it the mung, which is also um, a coconut milk that has been, in a cane, sugar cane, and we eat that yearly or wherever we go, and it's not only available during every time, but it's only during festive season. And whenever there's the mang and rendang out there of my house, I would just like grab it and eat. And if you are traveling here, you should definitely try as well.
Definitely. So, which is trickier, surviving in KL traffic or surviving pageant horses?
I would say surviving in KL traffic, because me myself, I travel back and forth from different states to different districts, and the KL traffic is something that every Malaysian still talks about it as well, especially during peak hours. You just gotta do your own jamming session in your car until you reach your home after work or after class. Because you wouldn't believe that my entire journey to travel back and forth from campus was like about an hour plus just in the car.
So, if you had to pick one, which would it be? Sunrise at Langkawi or sunset at Penang?
Oh, I love sunset, but Langkawi has the best chocolate sessions that you can get, and you just have to like go there, like wherever Malaysians would just want to grab a lot of chocolates, they would go to Langkawi. And they have the best sunrise as well by the beach, and a lot of tourist places like tourists, they would come to Langkawi just to have a vacation with their family members and all. And of course, I would choose sunrise at the Langkawi.
Perfect. That's all. How quickly our interview concluded.
Yeah, that's so nice. Such an engageful session.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
so
Thank you, Taanusiya, for sharing your journey with such grace and depth. From the national pageant to your beauty of the purpose, and from your dreams for Malaysia to your hopes for the world, it's clear that you wear not just a crown, but also a vision. As you prepare to represent Malaysia at Miss World, may your voice, your heart, and your purpose shine as brightly as your nation carry you with pride. On behalf of all of us, we wish you strength, joy, and success. Thank you, Miss World Malaysia 2025. So, as a concluding note, can you say, I am Taanusiya Chetty, I am your Miss World Malaysia, in your favorite three languages?
okay. Nama saya Taanusiya Chetty, and I'm from Miss World. I am Miss World Malaysia 2024年、2025年, and I'll be representing Malaysia to the 73rd Miss World.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Tanu. It was a great pleasure having you here.
Thank you
Bye.
so much for initiating this.
Thank you.
Have
Bye.
a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.